welcome to That Show. I'm Captain Hyde.
I'm Hendo.
Today we're playing Sonic the Hedgehog, the first Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep.
Which is the first game I ever played.
First game you ever played in your life?
Ever played in my life.
Wow. It's a good introduction, I must say.
And it's probably one of the best games I've ever played. And probably one of the best games ever made, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's very weird that we're playing this, because it seems almost kind of too obvious.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's done to death.
Yeah, it's too obvious a choice, but there's kind of no getting around it. You know, it is a masterpiece, and I mean, look at it. I mean, you know, you all know it. Everybody's seen this. Everybody's heard this music. Everybody's, you know, experienced this. Who's played games. You know, it's just.
It's a classic. Isn't
yeah,
it? It's gotta be the best.
It's influenced and extended, like, you know, across the gaming landscape for decades. So. We're playing it now. Well, I'm not playing it.
No, this is going to be my run through.
It's going to be all you.
I'm going to show you my skill. I get, you know, let's not mention that game that we're all thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, this is it's one of my favorite games, and I think this is the best Sonic the Hedgehog. A lot of people say, like, if you're talking about the Genesis Mega Drive Sonic games, they all say Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the best.
Yeah. Either that or Sonic CD. A lot of people like Sonic CD.
Yeah,
I know it's a different console. But
never played Sonic CD. I will get around to that one day in my life. But for now, I think this is the only Sonic game we need to play on that show.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the first one. There's a lot of things that are different about it from the other 2Ds.
For a start, there's 3 acts, which would never reoccur again. They'd be shortened down to 2 acts.
Yeah.
That's because Sega thought we want more environments but the same amount of levels. So, but only 2 acts.
Yeah.
And actually, in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, there is a mini boss. So you'd have a boss for every level.
Yeah, that's right.
And a major boss. But yeah, so.
So what's going on here?
So
for those of us who don't know, what the hell is going on here?
This is a special stage zone. Actually, here's another thing that's different about this game. There's only 6 Chaos Emeralds. Onwards from this game, there would be 7 Chaos Emeralds. So this is the only game where there's 6.
Oh, that's so good.
So Sonic cannot go supersonic in this game.
Did they ever bring that up? The fact that, like, it's weird in hindsight that there was just a Chaos Emerald missing.
I think they just
glazed over it.
Well, I don't know, because Supersonic is clearly based off Dragon Ball Z, isn't it?
Yeah,
Super
definitely.
Saiyan.
Yeah.
When did Dragon Ball Z come out?
Well, Dragon Ball was sort of popular in, like, late 80s, but I think it was still going in the early 90s, and it was popular in America in the early 90s.
Right. Well, maybe because Sonic Hedgehog 2 came out in 1992.
Yeah.
Maybe by that time they saw the Frieza saga and thought, yeah, let's do something like that.
It is a weird thing to include, though. Do you know what I mean? It's weird to have a Dragon Ball anime influence in a game about a little.
Well,
hedgehog.
Sonic is very much took a lot of the producers were big Michael Jackson fans. So
Really?
Yeah. So his shoes are basically a cross between Santa Claus and Michael Jackson.
Really?
Yeah. In Michael Jackson's music video Bad, they really liked his shoes in that. So,
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
And obviously they just put Sonic the Hedgehog, they put Santa Claus red, and then they put on the Sega blue for the colour of Sonic.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's actually, I've never noticed that. Yeah, like the shade of blue he is in this game is the exact same, like probably code, like in terms of coding, it's the exact same as the logo.
Now this bit's, even though I've got invincibility, this is the new false sense of security, because see, these moving blocks are not solid. You can jump through them and you can go into the bottom of the screen and you would die instantly.
Really?
Yeah, so you think I'm invincible, but it teaches you a very valuable lesson.
It's do you move differently when you're invincible? Do you move faster?
No. But there is a power up for getting speed shoes, fast shoes. The speed is capped when you're running Sonic.
Right.
Apparently it could go faster, but people thought it gave them motion.
Too fast.
It gave them motion sickness. So basically, I shouldn't need to explain it, but I'll cover it anyway. The villain is Dr. Robotnik. I don't like calling him Eggman because I always saw him as Robotnik.
Yeah.
You get rings, you get 100 rings, you get a life. This game is not so generous on lives. It is very hard. You need to build them at the start of the game and use them for the end of the game. But you get 50 or 60 rings, you get a giant ring, get Chaos Emerald. Get all the 6 Chaos Emeralds, you win the game.
What happens if you don't get the emeralds?
You get the bad ending.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever seen this game completed. Like, whatever happens is going to be new to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those games that because I never owned a Sega console. I think the first Sonic game I completed was Sonic Adventure 2, of all things.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's still a good game. That.
Yeah. No, I like Sonic Adventure.
I think a lot of like, I know a lot of people say we're gonna jump games to Star Wars Battlefront. A lot of people rave about Star Wars Battlefront, but I played it and it's not aged well at all.
I think it was important at the time, but it's not.
And I think Sonic Adventure. Don't know about Sonic Adventure 2, but Sonic Adventure did not age well. I don't think.
No, it didn't. Especially when you compare it to like Mario 64, which was like they're kind of diametrically opposed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is weird because like Sonic Adventure in terms of gameplay has got far more to do with the Sonic franchise. Like Mario 64 is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
From the 2D Mario games. Like in Mario 64, you need to explore things and like investigate every nook and cranny. And there's even like puzzles. Like there's no puzzles, and apart from like the boo houses, there's no puzzles in the original Mario. So like, as much as people go, oh, Mario 64 was more innovative and it gave its franchise more longevity. They only did that because they pretty much chucked out everything that was Mario about it. Whereas Sega did actually try and make, even though like in terms of tone and story, it feels a bit jarring.
Yeah. But we're gonna. I understand that the Sonic fan base is probably one of the worst fan bases ever. But we're gonna keep things positive because this is the early days of Sonic, and this is a great game. I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, absolutely.
This. But so what's quite good is like if you're more skilled, you stay at the top. You know, it's harder to stay up at the top of the level, but at the top of the level there's less hazards.
Right.
When you're at the bottom level, there's more traps, and that's just a common theme with these 2D Sonic games. So you know you're going to have a harder time if you make mistakes. If you're not patient, you will make mistakes, and you'll be at the bottom of the level. That is it.
I think one of the
so like, see, I'm taking the safe route. Whilst below there was a log with spikes. Like here's another one. But again, because I'm at the top, they're giving me lots of helpful tools.
It's interesting because the design of the levels are all based around speed, so it encourages you to go fast.
Yeah.
But you've got to resist that impulse to just blaze through. But I suppose this was like, these games came out when arcade games and scores were still a big part of the gaming mentality. So the idea of getting through a level as fast as you could was a big deal. You know what I mean? I mean, like speedrunners had a field day with this when it came out. And I remember,
there's another extra life. There's something on that tree. I'm going to try and get it. So I'm actually going to play this game. I think I'm good at this game. I'm not the best, but I'm going to try and make this the perfect playthrough as much as possible.
Right. Okay.
So when I would play. Oh, here's a Dr. Robotnik.
Here's Robotnik. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to make it flawless, but give us a comprehensive experience.
I would like the viewer to feel like there is still tension, that I'm not amazing.
Do you know what's weird? There's only one thing I find quite clever is that there's only one boss. Like, it's just Eggman with different.
Don't say that name. It's Robotnik.
It's just Robotnik with different contraptions. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, instead of there being like a host of different bosses, it's Robotnik but in different guises, which I think is quite. It gives that sort of consistency.
And what I like about this is even when he's retreating, you still want to get him. You're like, get back here!
Yeah.
Get back here! So yeah, Robotnik uses all Sonic's friends, which are flickies, rabbits, just any cute animal, which are tiny compared to Sonic, and turns them into robots.
Which he doesn't really do again. He doesn't do that in 3D games. His robots.
No, he does. He does.
Does he?
In Sonic Adventure 1, I believe you still see like flickies or bunnies. And actually, in Sonic the Hedgehog 3D or 3D Blast, it is Flicky Island. So you
that's right.
Go to the.
I remember that one. Yeah.
So this is Marble Zone. This is a great second zone. Obviously,
it's very Greek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ancient Greek.
But it's still got greenery. But there's a lot more tricks, and you have to take your time in this.
I think the good thing about the Sonic games was that they had very what was for the time like very varied environments.
Yes.
It wasn't just like.
I mean, these palettes are great, like
Yeah.
purple and green.
Yeah, it's interesting, and like you'd never really see a lava.
And see these platforms, like there's still tension. You're still like, oh my god, I gotta go fast.
Yeah, because they've got, and they're also like the way they depress like that, like they've got a sense of weight. There's a famous glitch down here that I know of. That you can get caught between these girders, and it sends you like.
Oh really?
Yeah, you sort of clip through them, and it sends you flying. Don't try it, because
No,
we'll just
absolutely
die.
But like these enemies, like there's more spikes. There's spikes popping in and out. Here's a wee puzzle. Not the
Yeah.
hardest of puzzles, but there's enough for you to go. Okay, so I need this.
It's
Right,
quite
okay.
interesting, yeah.
But this block is jamming it. That block that's jamming it is actually the block I need to move on to this. So there's a lot of cool mechanics.
Yeah, it's a bit Zelda inspired actually, for the old blocks.
Yeah, and actually this level is more linear than the Green Hill Zone, but you will get more choice later on.
It's interesting as well. I mean, like, I'll say again, like, you'd never. I think that's why this made such a big impact, because you'd never see something like that in a Mario game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like every object has its own weight and physics.
And see these blocks, like some of them, like you don't know which ones are popping out or not. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're constantly guessing. And I think that's great.
It's very interesting.
On this playthrough, I'm actually going to show you a few of the secrets.
All right,
I
here
know
we
quite a
go.
few of the secrets in this game.
Nice one. Look at that.
So we're going to do this.
Oh yeah, we're picking up lives like no other. Do you get an extra life when you get 100? No.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Awesome.
When it comes to Sonic 3 Knuckles, it's just ridiculous the amount of lives to give you. Like, I feel like, and the bosses are just lame.
Yeah, I mean that's the same with all 2D games. You know, like if you look back to the earliest installments, it's like, man, lives used to mean something. Not anymore. Now they're just like arbitrary. You know, they just fling them at you as like a totally arbitrary reward.
So yeah, we're doing pretty good right now. We'll see you in the special zone.